Hello guys, my name is Javor and I'm a software developer and co-founder of team-gpt. In this video, we're going to catch up with the AI trend and ChatGPT especially. Firstly, we're going to discuss what's going on, why everyone is so hyped, and why is AI everywhere. Then I'm going to pitch you ChatGPT and discuss why you should be using it. Then we're going a bit deeper into OpenAI stuff and GPT models. Next part is about ChatGPT and what you can do with it and what you cannot. Next step is to understand how to do this and how to create the perfect prompt. And the last part is for dev people, and it's about the API. Okay, let's talk about trends and waves. So you can see here a timeline from year 2010 up to year 2030, and I've put the biggest trends that appeared during this period. So we have data analytics and business intelligence, followed by Bitcoin. And by the way, Bitcoin unlocked a whole new wave, which was about crypto and blockchain. Then we have the first AI trend, which was about data science and machine learning. Uh, then in 2020, COVID struck, and we have the remote work trend, followed by hybrid work. And we're somewhere here with the new AI trend. How long will this AI trend last? We don't know. Some people say 20 years, other 50 years. Nobody knows, but in my opinion, in the next 3 years, everything will be AI, and yeah, that's why I'm doing this video. So how do you know there's a wave? Well, literally everyone talks about it. Right now, everyone talks about AI. Every new product is AI related, so it's not that hard to determine that there's a new wave. By the way, AI is not a new thing. It existed. The first AI model was developed in the 60s, maybe. But ChatGPT is the thing that unlocked the AI trend, just like Bitcoin unlocked crypto and blockchain trend. Okay, next, why should we all use AI and ChatGPT? Like I said, AI will be part of our lives and will be a very big thing in the next 2, 3, 5, 10, I don't know, many years to come. And it will be extremely helpful if you know how to use these technologies and able to make them work for you. Next, I'm a software developer, but I also do many other things like customer support, a bit of sales, a bit of marketing. So I've found ways to make ChatGPT work for me, and I'm between 20 times and 50 times more productive using these technologies. Next point is that knowledge of these technologies will be very, very powerful because these technologies will be integrated in so many places, and people who understand them uh, will have more advantage than people who don't. Then many problems, literally like 90% of the problems, have already been solved by many people in different ways, and all these solutions are fed to these models, and then they can give you the best solutions. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just ask ChatGPT. And lastly, I might be repeating myself, but this is the future. I really think this is the future. AI will grow very fast, and I think one of the reasons about this is that many people get involved into AI. It's not only the corporations; it's now the open source community. It's so large. So there's like competition between these corporations like OpenAI, Google, Amazon, and the open source community that works together in order to develop good models. A very good video that was released like more than 8 years ago has become very relevant today. It's about AI, and I suggest you watch it. It's very good. Okay, so what is OpenAI and what are their GPT models? OpenAI is an American company based in San Francisco. It was established in 2015 with a raise of $1 billion. Interesting fact, by the way, Elon Musk is one of the co-founders, but he had left a few years later. In 2019, Microsoft invested $1 billion, and this year, Microsoft invested another $10 billion. So basically, Microsoft owns 49% of OpenAI. OpenAI are famous for their GPT models. GPT means Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and basically these are the most popular large language models. Uh, what are they? They're models used to generate text, and they use deep learning methods and techniques. They have millions or billions parameters, and they use calculated probabilities to generate text. So how does this work? For example, if we have the sentence "I like to eat," the model calculates the most probable word, and for example, let's say in 4% of the cases, the word would be bread. In 2% of the cases, it would be fruit. And based on these probabilities, it generates the next word. They're used for NLP tasks, natural language processing. Just one of these is text generation. It can do many others like summarization and other language tasks. They can be unimodal or multimodal, which means that they can work with one type of input or many types of input. ChatGPT is unimodal because it can take only text as input. But GPT-4 can work with images as well, but for now ChatGPT cannot. A downside of these models is that they can hallucinate or make up things, generate misleading information, wrong information, anything that's not true. This happens when the model does not have enough information on the topic that you're requesting. They're very expensive to train. Training can take days, weeks, months. I don't know, maybe years. But they can be fine-tuned easily and cheaply. But we'll talk about fine-tuning a bit later in this video. Here's a comparison table between all GPT models. There are four right now. GPT-1 was released in 2018. It's a small and simple model. It can generate short text, often not very realistic. Then we have GPT-2, which is slightly better. It can generate human-like responses, but still it doesn't perform too well. GPT-3 is the first very good model. It's a decent model that's widely used in apps and softwares, and it can generate very high quality content. However, GPT-4 is the real game changer. It's the real deal. It's absolutely perfect at content creation. It performs so well, and it's mind blowing. GPT-4 is the model that saves me tens of hours of work each week. So if you haven't tried GPT-4, go try it. It's mind blowing. So yeah, we're going to talk more about GPT-4, but stop this video and go buy a subscription if you don't have one, and try it out. Here's a visual comparison between all the models. On the left side, we have a comparison between GPT-1, GPT-2, and GPT-3. You can see that they're gradually getting bigger. And on the right side, we have a comparison between GPT-3 and GPT-4. You can see the difference is so big. GPT-4 is 100 times bigger than GPT-3. But this is not confirmed information because this is OpenAI secret. They do not share any information about GPT-4's size. But what we know is that GPT-4 is so much better than GPT-3. So I will continue praising GPT-4. And here I've put another comparison of GPT 3.5 and GPT-4. The task here is to create an example of first graders essay. And GPT 3.5 has done okay, but GPT-4 has realized that a first grader cannot write very well, and the whole text is full of mistakes, grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes. So as you can see, GPT-4 is much smarter and has done a very interesting thing here. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a fine-tuned GPT model. It's optimized for dialogue or chats, and it's capable of maintaining context in conversations. It's used in chatbots or other similar systems. An example is the ChatGPT app, and it's based on GPT 3.5, and later on a version based on GPT-4 was released. I won't be digging into too much tech stuff about this fine tuning, but you can think about it as a modification that adds a new ability to the model. Of course, there are some other things that had been done. This is, for example, applying a content filter, some safety layers. But overall, ChatGPT is a GPT model with the ability to have a dialogue with the user. So let's talk about the actual ChatGPT app that you're all familiar with. OpenAI offers this thing called ChatGPT Plus, which is a premium subscription, and it costs $20 per month, and you get GPT-4. It's of course limited access. You have only 25 requests per 3 hours, but it's the easiest way to try GPT-4 and understand if you need it. There are some other features like the plugins, browsing, or other stuff. People are hyped about them, but I don't really think they're very useful. I don't use any of them, and I think the only good thing in this Plus subscription is GPT-4. So if you don't have a premium subscription, go buy one, try GPT-4 out, and see if it works for you. I'm pretty sure it will. GPT-4 is the model that will save you time and money. Okay, so let's discuss now what you can do with ChatGPT. First thing, as I'm a developer, is dev stuff. So if you're not interested in dev stuff, you can skip this part of the video. But I think it will be very helpful for developers. Firstly, it can help you write new code. I do not mean write your entire code, but more like code a small block or just the skeleton of the code. It can guide you very well, but please do not leave all the work to ChatGPT. It will mess things up if you do not control the stuff it creates. Then You can use it for refactoring. I do this very often when I'm in a hurry. Uh, I I create some code that is not perfect, and I simply give it to ChatGPT, and it tells me uh, some good ways to refactor it and optimize it. Next thing, I use it a lot for documentation when I'm ready with some code, pull request, or anything. Uh, it can create a very good documentation about your code. Another thing where you can apply ChatGPT is debugging. Uh, a few days ago, I was getting some kind of very strange error. I had no idea where it came from, and I simply copy and paste the error in ChatGPT, and it gave me the solution without even knowing my tech stack or anything. It was simply mind blowing. Um, Next use case is code explanation. I was trying this open source project, and the code was a real mess. So I could not understand what the code did. So I simply gave it to ChatGPT and told it to explain it. It was very easy to understand after this. Uh, Next, you can use it for regex. It can generate very good regexes and also optimize them. So try it out. It's very good. Another thing you can use it for is unit testing. Uh, I usually pass one or two examples of unit tests to ChatGPT, and then the function I want to test, and it creates a um, very standardized test for the function I have provided. Uh, Another very good thing you can achieve with ChatGPT is migrations. So, for example, if you are migrating from MongoDB to Postgre, it will give you a very good step-by-step migration guide that you can use. And everyone knows how hard it is to center a diff, so ChatGPT can center a diff. Okay, next for content generation, it's very good. As we discussed, ChatGPT can generate human-like text with a very high quality. So it's probably one of the best use cases. I do not generate that much content, but it helps me a lot with LinkedIn posts, emails, other social media posts. It's very useful. So yeah, you should try it out. Uh, I have a lot of friends that generate a lot of content. They're content creators, and they say that ChatGPT is now their assistant, and they save so much time with ChatGPT. Here I've put two examples. One is for emails, and the other one is for LinkedIn posts. So next for marketing and SEO, I'm not very proficient in marketing and SEO, but we're currently working on a startup, so I managed to see a lot of use cases in ChatGPT because we had to do everything extremely fast. So it's very good for audience research. ChatGPT helped a lot with the audience research we did, and also it helped us with the frequently asked questions. So yeah, these are very good use cases. And another one that we use ChatGPT for is generating keywords for better targeting. It helped a lot and saved us a lot of time. So yeah, marketing and SEO is very good field for ChatGPT. Okay, some more use cases. Decision making. If you cannot make a decision, you can give some pros and cons, facts as well to ChatGPT on the topic, and it will help you take the right decision. Important note here: do not express your personal opinion, as you might bias the AI. Next use case: translations. On the right screenshot, you can see I have translated some text from English to Vietnamese, and it was quite easy. Customer support. Customer support is one of the most common use cases for ChatGPT. As we know, ChatGPT is very good in content generation, and you can use it to generate customer support emails, messages, or whatever you need. Building a CV, this is a use case I found myself. It's quite cool. It can generate LaTeX code, and you can style your CV the way you like and include whatever you want. So it's very cool. Unfortunately, we cannot include all use cases in this video. There are many, many more, and there are even more that we don't know about. So uh, yeah, it's an amazing technology, and we still don't know what it can do. Because I love ChatGPT so much, and I didn't want to talk about its downsides. But we have to go through this fight. So here are the most common problems with ChatGPT. First, it lacks up-to-date knowledge. Uh, ChatGPT does not know about information that's newer than September 2021. It's just fed with data that's that old. Next, it's biased. What this means is that a lot of information that's fed to the model is biased. So the model creates output based on this data. So the output is biased as well. Then it's non-deterministic. This means that if you keep asking the same question, you're not guaranteed that you'll get the same response. It can generate wrong answers because it might lack knowledge in a specific topic. This can happen in very specialized topics. Then it can hallucinate. This is again some kind of a wrong answer. When it doesn't know anything, it can completely make it up and even convince you that the answer is correct if you don't know about much on the topic. It cannot solve complex calculations. For example, it cannot play chess. It will most probably start making up moves that are non-playable. For example, it's move 10 or something like this. It's not a math model, so you cannot expect ChatGPT to solve your math problems. Fact-checking is not a good idea. That's again because it lacks up-to-date knowledge. So just use Google. You cannot replace Google with ChatGPT. And the last one, sensitivity to input phrasing, which is called prompting. This means that you have to have a good prompt in order to get a good response. And in the next slides, we're going to talk about how to build a good prompt. In the next few slides, we're going to discuss how to create the perfect prompt and how to get the best possible result from ChatGPT. I'm going to share some useful tips and tricks, and you'll see some examples. Firstly, you have to use action words. ChatGPT understands verbs very well, so here's an example list. I have many more. I can share them with you if you want. But this is a good start. You can see on the left side, I have asked a question without asking ChatGPT to create or do a specific task. It's just a question, and the answer is very generic and it's not detailed. However, on the second picture, I have asked ChatGPT to create a specific thing, and this is a career plan, and it already gets the idea what it has to do, and it creates a very good career plan, and it gives step-by-step guide. So using verbs is a very, very good way to uh, pass context about your task for ChatGPT. Next tip is use as much context as you can. Give ChatGPT all the context you have about your task, so it gets the idea of what it should do. Here, the example uh, is related to dev, but even if you're not a dev person, you can see the difference uh, in the length of the prompts. Uh, Here we have a lot more context. It has to use Next.js, Yarn, whatever. But here we want something very generic, and the response is not what we expect. Uh, you can pass whatever you have. For example, different formats of the text, technologies to be used, or whatever is related to a task. Do not expect that ChatGPT will know what you want to do. Another technique that is very, very popular is using personas. You can tell ChatGPT to act as a specific person, and most of the times we use some top-notch professionals or specialists, and this gives a lot of context to ChatGPT. So, for example, if you tell it that it's a marketing veteran, as you can see on the right screenshot, it already knows that it has to use the best practices, the best technologies, or whatever. It already knows that it has to do it in the best possible way. However, on the left side, we haven't told it to act as a specialist, so it creates a mediocre answer, and it's not very detailed. It's more generic. But uh, when it's told to act like a professional, it gives a uh, very good response, and it's always on point. So using personas is very good strategy. Next trick is using examples. Examples are something that I found on my own, and I was literally mind blown when I found out that ChatGPT understands examples so well. It was amazing. You can see that on the right side, I have given an example to ChatGPT, uh, what I have and what I expect, and it has created a block of code that will do this thing. On the left side, I tried achieving the same result, but without an example, but simply by prompting it with text. And it took me 4 iterations before getting the same result. And using example, it took me only one try. So if you know really well what um, what output you expect or what you want ChatGPT to do for you, you can simply provide it with a small example, and it will really get the patterns and do very well. Okay, this is again context related, but as I said, context is everything, and it's super important to tell ChatGPT what you expect. Do not assume that it will know what you want to achieve and how. Here, the example is about code, and in the first prompt, I haven't specified the code style or language, and that's not the desired output. In the second one, however, I have specified both the code style and the language, and this looks like a very good result. So the more things you specify about the desired output, the better will ChatGPT do its work. So be super detailed. Next, specifying tone for content creation. This is super important. because specifying different tone will result in completely different output. Here you can see in the first example, I haven't specified any tone, and the response is normal. It's okay. In the second one, however, I have told ChatGPT to act extra excited, and it starts acting really excited. It adds emojis, and it's really hyped. So you can see that such small thing changes the whole output, and this is something you should play with when generating content. Next, iteration is the key. Start simple, then improve. The perfect prompt is not easy to build, so what I personally do is start simple and try solving a small part of the task with a simple prompt, then build up and start iterating on the prompt in order to uh, get to a prompt which solves the whole task. Again, this is something that you get better at. I've been prompting for half a year, and I feel like I need less tries than before in order to get the right prompt. So exercise, and you'll get better. Okay, I'll talk a bit about the ChatGPT API, but I won't dig in too much because the API is constantly changing and evolving, and this video will probably be irrelevant in a few months. So you have to sign up first at OpenAI. You have to set up a payment method, create an API key, and you're good to go to use the API. Next, how do we make a chat completion request? Here's an example request. Here's an example response. All this is from OpenAI's documentation. So it's literally a normal API request. Here are some request parameters. We have the model, which is the model that will be used. You pass in the ID. Messages, that's an array of messages. This is your context. You have role, system, user, assistant. User is the user, assistant is the bot, and system is a system message that tells ChatGPT some system context. For example, this is system prompt. You are ChatGPT, large language model. Usually there's one system prompt that tells ChatGPT how to act. Temperature, this is a variable that controls the randomness. Higher values will make it more random, and lower values will make it more deterministic. Max tokens, this is a number that controls how many tokens we want the completion to consist of. And stream, this controls, this is a boolean and controls whether we want to get the output in chunks. And this is very useful for chat apps. Here we have the max tokens for each model. This is 3.5, which is around 4,000, and 8,000 for GPT-4. Max tokens is equal to the sum of the tokens of all messages plus max tokens, which is the output tokens. Something very important as of today, there's a waitlist for GPT-4 API. So basically, if you want to use GPT-4 through the API, you need to apply to a waitlist. Currently, it takes about 2 weeks to get the access. Hopefully, this will be removed soon. I think even OpenAI posted something on the blog that they will be removing this waitlist. So soon this won't be a thing. But as of this date, there's a waitlist for GPT-4 API. So if you've come up to this point of the video, you're most probably very motivated to learn about AI and ChatGPT, and I really hope you found this video useful. What I suggest you is start learning with your friends or colleagues that also want to learn about AI and ChatGPT. And team-gpt is the perfect place for you guys. It has all the collaboration features, and I'm sure you'll love it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.